Welcome back, Progress fam. I am really excited to talk with you today about how to create your own frameworks for scalability in your business. And the thing that comes to mind before I jump into this is that you have to be able to commit each day on giving yourself space where it gives you clarity. And for each person that looks different. Sometimes it's through exercise, sometimes it's through doing certain hobbies. Maybe you like to knit, and that is when you have your most clarity. I know some people that still do that or do what do they call it, cross stitching, things like that. Like there's some people where when they get into that, it becomes so just innate to them that that's when they do their best thinking. And for me, it is that moment when I take power naps almost every single day. And that moment when I lay down about 5 minutes into that power nap, I feel like I can feel my brain like mend back together where I broke it that morning, focusing on things that I wanted to work on or just whatever I was doing for the day. And it's like I physically can feel something like snapping either out of place or into place. I'm not sure what's happening. And I always have this like breath of clarity. And what's kind of annoying about it is that I'll be laying there. I'm like, I'm going to take a power nap. I'm going to refresh my brain. And then I have this clarity. And you got to know yourself good enough when I tell myself, and I think a lot of people do this, when I tell myself I'm going to remember something, I never do. And every time I've ever had this like breakthrough thought that I'm like, I'm going to go back and write that down, I never remember it the same way as what it initially came into my brain. And so then I have to interrupt my power nap time, which is only usually about 20 to 30 minutes. And so I have to put this note in my phone or I have to journal about it or something. And so that takes away from that time. But even just that 5 minutes was so worth it, even if I don't get my power nap. And that's one of those things that I realized when this came to me today, is that I have to do this each day to move my business forward, because those are the little things that people don't tell you, that taking a power nap is going to add value to your team, to your business, to your clients. But you got to know yourself. And this is where your business is as unique as your own DNA. You got to do what works for you, that helps you be the best person that you can be. And if it's a nap, if it's cross stitching, if it is working out, whatever that looks like for you to get the clarity you need to keep edging that progress forward, then that's what you need to do. So when I was taking that nap today, this idea came to mind where, when we are implementing business strategy for our clients, we look at strategy as it aligns with their client or their customer results journey. And so again, that is just merely the process that you have created for your clients and customers to go through to get them a certain result that you're really good at being able to get them, right? And so what makes this really simple is that when you're developing your client results journey, you want to have a blueprint or a framework. And I love frameworks for businesses, especially service-based businesses, because retail, you can scale selling products pretty easily, but services get more challenging, right? And so the reason that I love frameworks is because they help you to create systematic growth in that service that you're providing. They provide a lot of structure and just clarity. And so it's so much easier to be able to empower your team and to lead your team when you have this framework, this structured approach to getting people results. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples that actually came to mind as I was going through, and I was thinking about this framework a while ago. I actually didn't even get my power nap today, but it was still so worth it. Saturday, it's okay, right? And so the other thing that I love about frameworks is that they really help to enhance the communication and the alignment around what you're doing. And just when you're working on refining and being better, and I want to say this word very carefully and loosely, perfecting, because we all know nothing is going to be perfect, but you can certainly be better than somebody else, at the way that you do things with people, right? And so it really helps to make sure that this framework stays in alignment with your overall vision and the strategy that you have for your business. And then what I love about when we create client results journeys, one of the things with creating frameworks with people is we start to create our own language, right? So, there's Spanish, there's French, there's Portuguese, there's English. And when people hear about a language that somebody speaks, one of the things we probably don't realize about when we hear somebody that speaks Spanish, or maybe they speak like Chinese, or I don't even know if that's actually the name of the language, Mandarin, perhaps. There's a part of our brain that defaults to thinking that they have a certain culture or a certain way of being because of their language, right? And this is where, when we are crafting that client results journey, I want you to adopt words that are unique to you. I want you to adopt phrases and words where it's like when people hear these, they think about you, right? And so when you think about people that speak Spanish, for instance, you may think of the South. It may give you this sense of warmth. It may make you think about certain foods, right? And so we want to develop that language, and that's why this is developing your own frameworks is a very important part of communication, and it helps to almost indoctrinate people to thinking and speaking the way that you want them to, right? Because you want to immerse them in your business, in your journey, and the results that you get them, and that is one of the ways that you do that. So there's a lot of discussion we have around that, but a couple of the other things that setting frameworks really helps within your business is obviously decision making. So when people understand the process that you take people through to get them results, if it's not in alignment with that, it makes decision making really easy. And then relating that framework back to the vision and the mission, it just makes that a lot simpler. And I don't know about you, but I certainly love simple. And so it helps to just prioritizing initiatives and things like that as well. And we really want to have something simple that we can refine and that we can innovate and we can adapt as you grow and expand. And it makes it simpler if you have one starting point, right? And this is where a lot of people make business unnecessarily hard, is that they're just doing without a system to it, and they don't know where to start. And so this is one of the things where, like, this is one of the huge systems that we focus on in businesses where, yes, this is a client results journey, but when we go into those businesses, we want to understand every little component of that. We want to understand the people on the team that are involved, the processes that are involved, what are the performance measures that go along with that framework and that client results journey, what are the tools and resources and things like that that we need to be able to utilize. And as you are in your industry, right, you're going to be able to, with the clarity around this framework, the results you get people, the processes, the tools, the resources, then when we talk about innovation and adaptability and things of that nature, it makes it easier when new technology comes up and new devices, new assets, new equipment, another person perhaps comes into your ecosystem or into your life, and you're like, this person they just have something about them. And you get to thinking about that in terms of maybe your client results journey, your customer results journey, and you realize, like, this is the person that's really going to help us take this to the next level. That's what happens a lot of times when this is why I love people, because when you know what you value and you understand your own vision for yourself and for your business, then when people come into your ecosystem, to your life, that provide you a lot of value, and you're like, I know in some form or capacity that this person is meant to work on my team, then when you have this clarity around the frameworks, around the results that you get your people, your clients, your customers, right, then it makes it a lot easier. Because when it comes to hiring people in our businesses, people take a very standardized approach a lot of times, and they're looking for just regular roles and not realizing that you can make a role make sense for whatever your mission is, as long as you know that. When you're not clear on what that mission and that vision is and what your client results journey looks like, then a lot of times that's where people come in and they hire the wrong people. And so the last thing about these frameworks, right, is that, again, when we talk about data-driven decision-making, it makes it super simple to know what to measure in your business. And again, we don't need to measure 30 KPIs. A lot of people are good with just 3 KPIs if they know exactly what they're looking at, right? And when you understand the process, the frameworks for how you deliver results to people, it makes your business so much simpler. Which is going to make your life simpler, right? We want a business that supports the life that we want. We don't want a life that has to support our business. That is not what we were meant to be lived for. So with that, I want to jump into this framework real quick and go over just these 3 things. And it literally came to me like this, and I love when it just flows. So the method for the way I want you to think about is creating a framework is, what is your method, and then refine your messaging around that, and then maximize it, right? And so just starting with method, your method is your unique way of getting people results, right? And the thing about this is that a lot of people don't realize that you're probably already doing this consistently. If you've never documented what that method looks like, you probably already have a consistent method. and just haven't really been intentional enough about it yet to start documenting and having clarity over what that looks like. And so some things that come to mind is really identifying like what is the core of your expertise and the specific problems that you solve. And you can look at your industry and just continue to refine that down and break that down into very clear and repeatable steps. This is where you can definitely leverage AI to type out like document, and you have to get very granular with this so that you can be able to create the big picture of what this looks like. But this is where you can go into AI and just talk through, this is the process from the time that people schedule a consultation with us, they get on a call with us, all the way till the time they sign the contract, to the time that the contract is up, or maybe they are finished with their treatment, or this service has been completed. This is the process we take. I want to be able to turn this into something that is scalable and repeatable, and that we can create training processes around this, everything like that, right? And then being able to articulate as you're going through that, use it to help you determine what is your unique approach that makes you all different, which is going to come back to the question I asked in yesterday's episode of how do you see yourself in the people that you want to serve? What are the qualities, the characteristics? What are the pain points, the things, the challenges that these people are running up against that you clearly know how to solve that problem, right? I don't care if you're a plumbing company, if you're a business coach, if you have a med spa, if you're a construction company, you can ask yourself that question and help your people with the answers that you have with that, right? And so, for example, a business coach might have a 90-day profit accelerator method that they use to combine financial analysis, strategy, accountability coaching that helps small businesses increase their profitability 5 to 10%. So that's just an example of a method that you may have. Now, when the reason that we focus on the method first is that this was one of the things that was so helpful for me, is that when I got very clear on articulating the results that my clients got with us, then it allowed me to really hone in on the messaging around that, because without that clarity of the results that we get people, I really didn't know what to tell people that we could help them transform about their lives. And so once you define that method, crafting your messaging is really the most crucial piece to that, because you can do what you do all day long, but if enough of the right people don't know about who you are and what you have to offer and how you can change their life, then it's not going to matter, right? And so going back to, again, the conversation, it's just so good on the heels of the episode I shared yesterday. If you have not listened to that, then you need to go listen to that. If you have ever considered competition in your business as a threat or a weak point, then you need to go check that out, because I told you in there exactly what to focus on. So if you've already listened to that, then you're going to be ahead, right? And so your messaging, when this is done well based off of the method that you have for getting people results, you want to be able to speak directly to your ideal client's pain points and what they want. And a lot of times when you get really good at this, actually, you're going to be able to tell them what they want more than they know how to tell you what they want. And that is when you get really good at it. And so you want to be able to also articulate this transformation. And this, I do not mean talking about what you do. I do not mean that if you're a plumbing company, we go into your house and we're going to check all your pipes and tighten, da, 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 da. That is not what I'm talking about whatsoever. You're going to talk about how we go in and we give you peace of mind, because we go through this 27-point inspection process to make sure there is no stone left unturned, right? That is going to make a lot more sense to people, because they don't know what the parts and what you do. They don't understand that. They don't have your expertise. And so you want to be able to articulate the transformation, how you're giving them peace of mind. How are you giving them confidence? How are you giving them peace, right? I think I already said that. And so this is also where you're going to start using the languages. And when you come into messaging, you all are familiar with this: jingles, slogans, sayings, things like that, like Nike's "Just Do It." Like those are like movement mantras that go along with that. That's what my coach would call it. I cannot take credit for that. That's where I learned that from her. And it's that, but I love that because it definitely stuck with me. And what I realized when I was going through this process with her is that we already had a lot of these things. Like clarity to cash flow is our thing. We talk about this all the time. Like when you get clarity, it will enhance your cash flow, whether it increases and you have more sales, or you have more profitability, or both, or you have great profit, but you have more cash flow. Like, you have clarity on yourself, when you lean into who you are and you just focus more on who you were created to be instead of trying to be somebody else, your cash flow is going to increase as a result. So being able to do that comes with clarity, right? Revenues are vanity, profits are sanity. And like, let's grow. I want people to associate us with growth and with optimism and just wanting to be better, right? And so thinking about these words, and there were some other things that I had documented. I wish I had gotten notes on those for you all, but I think you get it. And so that's going to be really be helpful to help you have more impactful messaging. Storytelling is also another really great way to be able to illustrate the journey that you take people through, right? And because storytelling, people can see themselves in that story. And then one of the things that comes to mind is how I'm in another coaching program that really helps to build up your sales skills. And one of the things that they said that has stuck with me, and I don't think I'll ever forget it, especially because it lines with the first phase of our client results journey framework. And we want to ignite emotion when we're speaking to people, and we want them to be able to make the decision logically. And what that means when I say that is that we want something that is going to connect with them, that is going to spark some kind of thought or memory or visualization in their brain. And because we get that attention, because if we just talk about what we do or who we are, that's not really going to connect with people. And that doesn't tell them anything about, yeah, there's a ton of CPAs out there, but how do they know that I'm the one that can help them, right? And so being able to speak directly to how they're feeling, how they're thinking, something they have experienced, and then because of that, tying that back to why you're the authority, why, because of, your proprietary method or whatever the case may be, helps them to make that decision to say yes to you logically. And so storytelling is really great for that. And then the last part of this is maximize. And so we want to maximize this impact. So we have the clarity around the method. We refine the messaging. Those are two of the most important parts of that client results journey. The method, again, being the first one, because you want to perfect that, right? You don't want to put a bunch of fuel on a fire that is going to rage out of control. You want to be able to control it. And so what a lot of people do is they go at this the wrong way. They start with their marketing first before they've actually gotten clarity on the results that they get people. And you spend a bunch of money on marketing and putting the wrong message out there to people, and you get a bunch of the wrong people. The marketing could work, but it gets the wrong people, or the marketing falls flat because you didn't refine your messaging, because you didn't actually know what your method was. And that's why this goes in this order. And so that is the last part of this. And then maximizing it is just refining that, identifying what is the most effective way that we get our people results. You're going to tweak your process. You're going to be looking at the marketing channels that you use to reach your ideal clients, the way that you develop content, the systems and the processes, the tools, the resources, the technology that you use to deliver. You're going to buy things. You're going to adopt, a really common thing these days is adopting technology that is a bridge between you and your customers and clients. And then you get to using it and you realize that it has a lot of limitations, and it doesn't provide the resources or it just doesn't provide what you want or the standard that you want to your people. And so you end up having to change platforms or change technology. And so those are the kinds of things I'm talking about, is like being critical of those things. Is there something out there better that can actually deliver on how we want to serve our people? And that makes me think about how when the job that I left before I started Progress to Profits, one of the things that I learned to do there and I really loved is that when we would go to change technology platforms, whether it was a point of sale for a restaurant or a retail business, then we would go through this, what we called the request for proposal. And we would meet and we would go through what are the parameters, what are the absolute essentials that we want from this technology, from this program, so that we can optimize our operations. And it made us very intentional, because a lot of people just go out and they buy whatever is available for their industry without realizing there's a lot of vendors that offer technology for point of sales, for retail businesses, for restaurants. They don't actually vet those based off of the way that they want to serve their clients and customers. And then they end up with this blockage or this bottleneck in their business because they didn't properly leverage the tools and the systems for how they take care of people. And so they've got something that really limits their ability to maximize what they offer people. And so this last part is where you can start to focus on scaling this transformation, this result that you get people, right? And so the real business scenario that I wanted to give you is that I want to go through and say this. There's a lady named Sarah, and she's a nutritionist, and she specializes in helping busy entrepreneurs improve their energy levels and their health through diet and lifestyle changes around their business. And so she has this energy optimization protocol, right? This is a 12-week program. It has personalized meal plans. It has stress management techniques, because we all know being an entrepreneur is stressful, right? And it has a habit formation strategy, because that is really the foundation of making sure that you don't just enhance your energy, you maximize it, right? And you end up adopting this as a lifestyle, not just a 12-week thing and then falling off the wagon. So we want you to form these habits. And so once Sarah, she has this 3-step approach to this energy optimization protocol over 12 weeks. And because of she has clarity on that method, her messaging really around the transformation of her clients might look something like this. Are you tired of feeling exhausted and overwhelmed? The energy optimization protocol helps busy professionals double their energy levels in just 12 weeks without crash diets or extreme lifestyle changes. You can reclaim your vitality and excel in both your personal and professional life with this protocol. And so she develops these case studies, and she has testimonials because she has documented this method. She has went through it. She has done iterations of it, and she's able to highlight specific results, such as 85% of clients report a 50% increase in productivity within the first month. Now, how did she get that information? As part of her method, she probably had a survey or some part of the process at the beginning when she onboarded them, and then she interviewed them at the end of the 12 weeks, and she was able to ask them certain questions where she was going to be able to document the change in their energy levels, or be able to prove evidence around how her energy optimization protocol works, right? And so now that she has the method documented, she's clear around the messaging, she can actually substantiate the transformation that she helps people go through. Then to scale her business, she's going to she creates a podcast called The Energy Edge, and she starts interviewing these successful professionals that have went through this program, or some they adhere to habits and lifestyles like this, right? And so that's going to give her brand authority, and that's going to have more people that listen to this that want to reach out to her because she has this proof, right? And then what she does is she actually takes that, instead of doing this one-on-one, now she develops this online course version of her protocol for people that maybe they just can't work with her one-on-one, or maybe they can't afford her one-on-one prices, but they still want to be able to optimize their energy. They're going to be able to go through this course that's going to teach them exactly how to do that. And so another thing that she actually ends up doing, because she scales this so well with just those first two things, is that she ends up partnering with these corporations to offer them wellness programs, so that she can offer it to larger organizations where they offer professional services. Accounting firms are a really good one for that. Marketing agencies, she starts offering it to these people, and then she's able to build a team and scale this, because it's not reliant on her. It is reliant on her protocol. And so by following this framework or this method, by creating her own protocol, she's able to scale this service-based business, and that which is one of the hardest businesses to scale. And I believe that recent statistics, I can't remember exactly how much it is, but it's somewhere in 70% of businesses are service-based businesses. And so you definitely want to be able to scale this. That is the most common business out there. Product-based businesses are so easy to scale, but let's change the truth around that and make service-based businesses easy to scale with developing your own framework. And the second example that I wanted to share with you, just to really drill this in, this was like the one that I thought about as it comes to maybe a med spa that focuses on hair restoration. And so I know that that's a really common thing out in the world right now. And what I love about the shift in the culture that we have with aesthetics is that I feel like a lot of people are leaning back into natural results, and we're not getting so many of these people that are focused on superficial results. Now, I could be wrong. It could be just because that's what I'm more interested in, and surrounding myself with people that just want to be genuinely who they are and make that person be the best, look the best that they can be, instead of looking like somebody else they're not. And so with that, there's a lot of people that, hair plugs aren't really a thing that you hear about anymore. So there's so much technology and hair restoration devices are very common in medical aesthetics. And so one of the frameworks that I thought about for maybe a med spa that focuses on hair restoration is the 3S framework that they build their team around. And it is skincare, which addresses overall skincare and health that helps contribute to a healthy scalp. And just I'm thinking about like the head, right? Like the thing that most people see, because when people don't have healthy hair, I know that it really can limit their confidence. And I personally am somebody that really benefited from, I didn't do health hair restoration, but just better understanding how to care for my hair, because that was a significant pain point for me years ago. Have very thin, fine hair, and just understanding what products to use, how to care for my hair, even when it comes to the heat, especially, and investing in the right products and equipment and tools like hair dryers and things like that really transformed my hair. And it's boosted my confidence so much. And I can see so much of a change in myself from 5 years ago, even a year ago, just because I've learned to better care for my hair. And so this is something where this is life changing for people. And so the redneck accent is really coming out, y'all. I can hear it. This is something that really changes the game for people. So we know that by addressing people's skin care and their scalp care, it is going to boost their confidence. And so we have this 3S approach. It's skin care, scalp care. So we focus on the specific needs of the scalp to promote optimal hair growth, and then stem care. And I'm just thinking of, I need a simple, like when my team comes in and I want them to do things the way I want them to do it, I need them to have a framework they're going to remember. So the 3S's was one of those things. But when I think about stem care, I'm thinking about like the actual hair, the length of your hair, right? And so this is targeting the hair follicles. And maybe with that helps you to refine what products and services you're going to offer to your people to help them have the best hair and the best skin of their life, so that they show up as the person that they were meant to be, right? And so when you're bringing, because of this framework, how this actually helps you to optimize your operations is that you're going to focus on skincare that is natural results, and it is in combination, or it works in tandem with scalp care and stem care. And then when it comes to the scalp care, it's like, okay, if there's hair restoration devices out there, just because we're a med spa, we're not going to buy, maybe we're not going to do laser treatments. Maybe we're not going to do micro needling, because we're really just focused on being the expert in hair restoration and hair care and hair longevity. Then we're only going to invest in equipment that is going to help us do that for our clients better, right? And the reason that maybe you do that is because you struggled with hair insecurity at some point in your life, and you went through these treatments and learning how to actually care for your scalp and for the hair in and of itself, that you want to be able to do this for more people. So it brings the personal, the thing that you saw in yourself and you overcame yourself, you're going to be able to relate to that in your messaging. That's going to be able to help you come back to storytelling when you're talking about this. And maybe you bring on other, when it comes to your operations and the other products and services you bring on, in addition to skincare, maybe you're bringing on hair care products that align, that are tested. You believe in these products, and when you put these three things together, the skincare, the actual hair care, and then the scalp care, when you put your proprietary method of these things together, these people don't just get great results from the one product, they get these exponential results from the use of all of these products and services, right? So I just gave somebody an entire business blueprint. If you want to take this, like, run with it, because your business is going to be extremely profitable if you do that. I can already tell you. So that is the method. And then the messaging around that, we really just wrap that up into one. And so you help people understand that because of the method and the proprietary way that is unique to you, nobody else has the combination of products and services like you do. You are able to not just treat hair loss, you help optimize the skin, the scalp, and it completely transforms the way that they feel about themselves. They're radiant, they're confident. These people are getting raises at their jobs because it's not just because they look better, it's because they hold their shoulders up high, they hold their head up high, they're not wearing hats all the time. People can look them face to face, eye to eye, and they trust them more now because they look more confident, simply because you help them to restore their hair. And that's what I want you to understand about your messaging is, like, how does this change people's life through what you have to offer? Through what you have to offer and the way that you do it, right? And then the next thing would be to maximize that. So maybe to maximize this, you don't want to do anything different. You don't want to add on other treatments or services that are really not going to add value to this. They're just going to be a lateral growth rather than exponential growth. I want you to exponentially be able to grow this med spa, right? So the next thing we might do is create this tiered treatment plan that addresses each S individually. So maybe you just go super deep on skincare, and that for people that just want skincare. So you're still staying within your method, but you're going really deep on each of those S's, right? And so because you're so clear on the framework that you have, the products and services, the beliefs, the education, the experience that you have around this, you're able to next start providing a lot of educational content on this. This might be blog posts, video, leveraging social media a lot more to help educate people in a way that inspires them to work with you, and you help to start explaining the science behind your 3S approach. And then maybe you don't have to charge for consultations anymore. You have the team, you have the resources you can provide, and you're so good about the process, the method that you have now, that consultations don't take an hour anymore. You're so great at being able to ask the right questions and attracting the right people, so you're not wasting your time on the ones that aren't necessarily qualified for what you have to offer. You can offer these complimentary 15, 20, 30-minute consultations, so less than half the time of what you used to spend on that. And you're going to be able to assess these people's needs, and that's going to increase your conversion rate for sales, right? So you're going to be scaling this service, and you're going to be creating this framework for your consultations as well. And then you start implementing a loyalty program that rewards clients for completing all 3 phases of the treatment cycle. So these 3 S's, and you would want to determine, like, what does it look like to complete the skincare transformation that this med spa can go through, right? Or can take you through. And so you just keep people immersed in your ecosystem because you want them committed to the treatment journey, right? And so you're going to almost gamify or incentivize them for that. You're creating a referral program for people that send them that way because you're so good at this now, and people have gotten so many good results. You want to be able to reward them for sending you referrals, because I would rather spend money on that than spending money on marketing that had a lower conversion rate or wasn't going to get enough of the right people, right? And then maybe the last part of maximizing this method is that you partner with dermatologists to further validate your approach, right? And there's part of this where this is an element of time where you absolutely will get better and become more authoritative and more profitable in this method if you just stick to it. And it makes me think how most things will be successful given enough time. And this is where I think about something Alex Hormozy shared one time, where he was talking about, if I do not quit, I will not fail. And it is as simple as that. And so there's a combination of understanding that when you start out, maybe you don't have clarity on what that approach is. But as you go throughout your business, if you've been in business for 5+ years and you've never went through this process of documenting the way that you do things, then you already have enough evidence. You just need to sit down and be intentional about the way that you do things. It's probably a little bit sloppy, which means you're not as profitable as you could be if you did refine your approach to doing things. If you've been in business that long, though, you definitely already have a framework. You just don't realize it yet. So I want you to sit down and take the time to look through what that might be. And again, use AI to document this and to realize what this looks like for you. That will be so powerful. So nonetheless, I wanted to share that clarity that I had through my power nap earlier today. I hope that helps you with your business. And I truly would love to hear what epiphanies came to you from this, or what was something that really stuck with you. Reach out to me on Instagram. I am Brittany McKnight. Or you can reach out to our business page if you want as well. But love to hear what clicked for you. And if this was valuable for you, then please share it for somebody else that you know could really value, because again, we're here for collaboration, not competition. And other than that, I hope you all have the best day ahead. Let's grow.